right, Avengers. Time to live up to your name.
The highest grossing movie of all time, Avengers Endgame, is a sequel. So we took a look at all the sequels coming out in the next 6 months and rounded up our favorites.
I feel the need for speed.
It's been 24 years since the original debuted, and we're excited for the first sequel to make our list, Top Gun.
Your reputation precedes you.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back.
In Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise goes from trainee to trainer for a group of pilots that includes the son of his old pal Goose, played by Miles Teller. It's in theaters June 26th.
The end is inevitable, Maverick. Your kind is headed for extinction.
Maybe so, sir. But not today.
Next, we go to a film that defined the 80s, Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost?
The movie's been remade before, but Ghostbusters Afterlife is the first sequel with a cast that includes Paul Rudd and Stranger Things star Finn Wolfhard.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap?
It's directed by Jason Reitman, the son of the OG film's director, Ivan Reitman, and is in theaters July 10th.
It has a gunner seat?
And we can't leave out superheroes from the list of sequels. Say hello again to Wonder Woman. On June 5th, Gal Gadot's character suits back up to play the daughter of Zeus in Wonder Woman 1984, facing off against supervillains played by Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig.
The world needs you. You know what you need to do.
And finally, the sequel to a movie that made a lot of people very silent, A Quiet Place. 2018's film introduced us to a world where very bad things happen when you make noise. And on March 20th, Emily Blunt returns to her role in A Quiet Place Part 2, where she tries to keep her family and other survivors safe.
There are people out there worth saving.
The people that are left. They're not the kind of people worth saving.
Sequels hoping to scare up lots of fans this year on the hot list.
Hey everyone, I'm Shaguna Dulo, and if you're like me, when a company or product we're relying on disappoints you, your natural reaction is to complain. But Jimmy Rhodes says there's an art to expressing your displeasure. Complaining for the win is our featured story at the top of the list.
Consumers spent about $14 trillion last year on products and services. According to Consumer Reports executive editor Kevin Doyle, it didn't always work out.
More than half of Americans report they've had a problem with a product or service in the past year, and a third reported feeling anxious, betrayed, or even sad about it.
Hey, if you're feeling sad or betrayed by a brand, grow up. They ain't crying when your car breaks down a month after the warranty expires. They're counting their money. But sometimes you might want to lodge a complaint.
With so many ways to reach out to companies these days, it pays to know how they can work for you and potentially against you.
Consumer Reports conducted an informal poll on Facebook and Twitter to find out how people contacted brands with complaints. We're running down the top 3, starting with far and away the most popular method, phone calls.
Because when you're really angry, you want to talk to someone to convey your rage.
I just want to be heard, screaming about my ink cartridges smudging cyan down the middle of every stupid page.
But calling comes with its own frustrations.
Like those stupid multi-layer phone menus, eternity's on hold, and once you finally do get a human, getting transferred to someone else so you can start waiting all over again.
One study found that people are referred to a different contact 75% of the time they reach out to a company to complain, and that customer satisfaction drops each time they're transferred.
3 transfers in, callers be like, ah, classic Disney. So calling's the most popular, but maybe not the best bet. How about second place, web chat?
Response times, especially for basic questions, can be much quicker using web chat than contacting a company by phone or email.
The key words being basic questions. A lot of these are chatbots, which mostly generate auto responses triggered by keywords. Great for finding out locations or hours of operation, but for more complex questions,
none of the Consumer Reports members or customer service experts we talked with said that chatting was any more effective than using the phone.
So, not really a trade up, which brings us to social media.
Smart consumers know that if they contact a company on Twitter or Facebook, they'll get a better response and a faster response than they will if they call customer service.
Chalk it up to protecting a brand's reputation in a public forum.
No one else knows when you call a company with a problem, but on social media, a lot of people see the complaint, which is exactly what the companies are worried about.
So fire up those thumbs and tweet your way to satisfaction. Complaining for the win's at the top of the list.
Complaining with no solution in mind doesn't do anyone any good. So that's why we have charities to help change things for the better. But with over 1 million organizations out there, some help more than others. So before you hand over your hard-earned cash, Heidi Fogelsong's looking at how to choose a charity.
The giving spirit is alive and well in America, from feeding the less fortunate to donating money after a disaster.
The American Red Cross is working around the clock where help is needed the most.
America is the most philanthropic country in the world. Last year, according to Giving USA, there was more than $421 billion donated to nonprofit organizations.
Kevin Scally of Charity Navigator has a pre-giving checklist you'll want to complete before donating. Starting with finding out if the charity is legitimate by asking the right questions.
Definitely asking what they actually do. So their mission statement should be very clear and you should be able to understand that. In addition to that, you want to make sure that they're a 501c3 nonprofit. Those are the only organizations that you can donate to where it's actually tax deductible.
Next up, if you can't afford to give money, your time can be just as valuable.
Donating your time is really one of the best things that you can do to donate if you don't have money, because it's one of the things that we all have that if we don't use it, we're going to waste it.
Dalton Walker of Arizona's Children Association says their popular mentoring programs are a way for people to give their time.
We have volunteer mentors come in that work one-on-one with our youth that are in foster care, and they just step into their lives and be a positive role model for those youth.
He says websites like greatnonprofits.org are a trustworthy resource to find local charities that need your time. Finally, know where your money goes once it is donated. Some charities have administrative costs as high as 68%, meaning just 32 cents of every dollar is used to help those in need.
Typically what we're looking for when we're looking at the financial health of an organization is we want to see about 70% or more actually going towards programs.
Charity Navigator and Give.org both have easy-to-read charts that detail a charity's admin and fundraising costs, the money that doesn't go to programs.
As long as that's summing up to 30% or less, you can feel pretty good knowing that your hard-earned money is going towards what you're intending it to go to.
Feeling good about doing good.
Thanks for your support!
With Charitable Giving 101.
All right, now it's time for our roundup of stories we just can't stop talking about. Today, Jimmy Rhodes has What's Trending. Jimmy.
Thanks, Shagoon. So, what's got our attention today? Fashion and work tech. But first, let's kick it off with states of clean. That's first on our list of what's trending.
I would scrub 500 tiles, and I would scrub 500 more, just to keep my bathroom colorfully clean.
And folks in some places can't help scrubbing themselves silly. A new survey from Mulberry's Garment Care found residents of Hawaii will spend the most days cleaning, 138 days in a lifetime. People in New York and New Jersey are tied for second place. And the state that spends the least amount of time getting things spick and span, Mississippi.
Honestly, sometimes when I saw dirt, I would look the other way.
Well, this next thing wants to help you clean up and green up your closet. Fashion footprint is at number 2.
Fashion is sort of a throwaway culture. And so if you know you're going to buy something that's a fad, you probably don't want to spend a lot of money on it.
Staying on trend not only hits your wallet, it affects the planet too. And you can see just how much with clothing reseller ThredUp's new fashion footprint calculator. After answering a series of questions like how many loads of laundry do you do per month and how often do you buy clothes, it spits out your annual fashion habits carbon emissions.
So much waste now because clothing is just overtaking the world of people wearing it once or twice.
And it's a harsh reality when your results are equivalent to multiple flights from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Ouch. Head to thredup.com/fashion footprint to see how your fashion is trashing the planet and to get tips on how to do better. Our final trending story could make being tied to a desk a little less painful. Lying down on the job. next at number 3.
We've adapted to our computers sitting and slouching for far too long. Isn't it time they adapt to us?
And apparently adapting to us includes lying down. Yeah, we know what you're thinking. Reclining on the job is usually frowned upon, but the signature Alt workstation wants to make that the standard. The desk has a variety of positions designed to ease pain and bolster productivity.
Whether you want to sit, stand, collaborate, or focus, our patented technology provides continuous comfort while your computer seamlessly moves with you.
And magnets hold your keyboard and mouse in place so they don't come crashing down on your face. Of course, it ain't cheap. The workstation is going for about $7,600. But hey, it's got stellar reviews.
The first time I sat in the Alt workstation, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a game changer.
Now I just got to figure out how to get the company to pay for it. That's what's trending.
Welcome back. If you're feeling tired, you're not alone. The American Sleep Association says 1 in 4 Americans has trouble sleeping. Well, rest easy. A woman known as an extreme sleeper gave Christina Guerrero the ABCs on getting your Z's.
Imagine being able to sleep anywhere with ease, even in a tent on the side of a mountain. Meet Phoebe Smith, the world's only extreme sleep adventurer.
Which means I like to go to pretty extreme and remote places and spend the night in some very odd locations.
She's also helping the world fall asleep with her job as the Calm app's first ever sleep storyteller in residence, and now she's giving her secrets to catching some Z's. First up, become distracted.
So the funny thing about me is, as an adventurer, I go and spend the night in some rather strange and remote locations in quite cold environments or hanging off ledges. But funny, when I'm doing that, I sleep really well. But back in my own bed, I often struggle.
Phoebe says you won't fall asleep if you're thinking about it too hard, and her adventurous snoozes provide that distraction. But for the rest of us, who won't be sleeping in the trees, we can try distractions in the form of visualizing exotic places or daydreaming. Phoebe's next tip, go caveman.
Try and turn things off and stop working at least an hour before you're going to go to bed.
Get away from any technology that provides unnatural light and will keep you awake. The closer you can get to nature and sleeping outside, the better your sleep can be. Phoebe says she learned that firsthand from one of her first adventures.
I had the most incredible night, seeing the light play on the rocks, the stars come out, the wildlife come closer because, everyone else had gone away, and woke up the next morning feeling really, really good, and then I wanted more of that. I was addicted.
And Phoebe's last tip, bedtime stories. Yep, just like when you were a kid.
I know when I first was told about writing bedtime stories for grown-ups, I was pretty skeptical. But if you really think about it, that's what helped us sleep when we were kids.
And it must be working because millions of people have downloaded the Calm app and are falling asleep to Phoebe's tales.
For tonight's sleep story, we travel to the south of France.
It slowly soothes them by taking them on a journey, using the right kind of language to relax them, and eventually they'll fall off to sleep, normally from feedback within the first 5 to 10 minutes of a story.
You might even sleep like you did when you were a kid. And that's dreaming of a good night's sleep with tips from an extreme sleeper.
Thank you, Christina. Speaking of dreaming, you might feel like you are if you come across one of these amazing homes. Teresa Strasser found 3 you won't believe, and they're on the buzz list. Teresa.
Thanks. These peculiar pads must be the talk of their towns. Coming in at number 1, the Enchanted Hart house. The exterior of this Denver, Colorado home is decked out in thousands of mosaic pieces. Its owner, Steve Hartbauer, has been working on his passion project for the past 10 years as a way to share his art with the world. So far, the reaction from his neighbors has been positive.
Not everybody has access to galleries and museums, and I want to share my art with anybody that's either walking by or riding their bikes. Oh, I have people waving at me and telling me, I love your house, I love your house. People honking their horns. It's great. I love it.
Love it. And next time I break a dish, I know whose porch I'm going to leave it on. At number 2, an airplane home. This retired 727 is home to Bruce Campbell, who bought the plane 20 years ago for more than $200,000, got it moved to Hillsboro, Oregon, and retrofitted it with all the comforts you'd find in a typical home.
Jetliners are basically flying homes. They provide everything you need except the clothes washer and shower, which are easy to install. It's a good recycling opportunity, and I think that opportunity is being sorely wasted right now.
And the airplane home, it gets a fair amount of visitors.
We're going down. We wanted to come check it out, and living in an airplane sounded like the coolest thing ever.
In that crib, you are always flying first class. And third on our list of unique homes, the David's Pop Art Home. For the past 30 years, John and Judy David have transformed their 1916 Royal Oak, Michigan bungalow into this kitschy work of art. It is so eye-popping, it was included as a stop on the Weird Homes tour, which showcases homes in different cities throughout the year.
The Warhol wallpaper in the kitchen is one thing, and then upstairs we have a great Roy Lichtenstein mural on one of the walls that's very jarring, I think, probably for people. Lots of bold colors and graphics, horribly uncomfortable furniture that we love the looks of, but nobody really comes to our house to kind of sit and relax.
Heck, why go to a museum when you can just live in one? Truly one-of-a-kind homes on the Buzz list.
Now those are definitely some cool cribs. Lots more of the list is still to come, so stay with us. Welcome back, folks. You know, there was a time when working out meant popping in a Jane Fonda or Richard Simmons tape and jumping around like a maniac. Well, Teresa Strasser says that style of aerobics class is back, so put on those leggings for high fitness.
Hi, welcome to my step aerobic workout.
Warm that body up and give me some loving.
That's it, give it to me, gang. All right.
Miss the days of sweating it out while wearing bright colors and high ponies? You're not alone.
Like, why did it even go away in the first place?
Well, Emily Nelson and Amber Zenith are bringing it back, but with a modern twist, and people are loving it.
You come dressed up however you want. If you come in a leotard, you get bonus points.
Yeah,
Oh, you do?
for sure.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
These high-intensity classes are now offered across 400 cities in the U.S. and Canada. So what can we expect during a high fitness class?
So we really have a format where it's set and you do your cardios, you do your toners. So it's super fun and it's fast-paced.
If I was alive in the 80s, will I be able to do it in 2020?
Yeah. We have people that are 18 years old. We have 75-year-olds that have been coming to my class for 5 years.
You can modify the moves to make you feel comfortable.
We say you can go high, you can go low, but always leave feeling high.
Now, let's get into some moves.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start out with a nice ham curl right here. Gotta remember those ham curls. They've been around forever with aerobics. So we're gonna take it into a grapevine. Take it side, arms go. Open, together, open, up. We're flying into that next move. Up, up, stomp, boom, boom. So strong movements, but very simple. How you feeling back there? High? Is heart rate coming up? She's feeling high. From there, it's our favorite move. Single, single, double. Single, single. You gotta get those aerobics on. Oh yeah, girl. Just like that. That's all the moves, and that is it. It's that simple. 4 moves, you killed it. That was so good.
You guys are in very good shape. Finally, we're stringing the moves together for the routine.
Clap it out, clap it out. Ham curl, ham curl. Nice and strong, keep that core tight. Grapevine. Yes. Right arm goes up, reach it up. Left arm, here we go. Bring that sass. Single, single, double. Awesome, how you feeling? Get up here, get up here.
Thank you so much.
You kill. Oh my God.
Now we can let our inner 80s flag fly with high fitness.
That actually looks like a lot of fun. Just know I'm bringing my own workout clothes.